And Stephen Leapley returns to your friendly neighborhood atheist with, wow, I just tongue twisted myself. I gotta say, I'm excited, man. You and I had a really good talk last night, and I didn't get a chance to tell you this, but your talk with me actually influenced me in many ways. I feel like the first 4 guests I had each helped mold my direction and understanding the importance of compromising and engaging in conversation versus just, quickly saying, I'm right, you're wrong. So I got to say thank you, because I had a really, really fun talk with you last time.
Cool. I appreciate that. I'm sorry that I'm taking my glasses on and off too, by the way, which will probably happen 30,000 times today.
So I started just keeping them off, just because I kept getting that reflection, and I looked like such a nerd. Like, hi.
Yes. I don't care about the reflection, because if you notice, you can see the back of me right there in the back of the screen.
Yes.
So my sound engineer isn't here, so I have to do it all myself, and that's why I'm a drummer and not a sound engineer.
Well, you do sound really good. So,
cool. Hey, he's just here now.
If you could just tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Hold on real quick. This is like major feedback. I don't know what's going on. Like, I just heard you in here. Can you still hear me, Ethan?
Yes, I can still hear you.
Okay, cool. Tell me okay, so now we're back to that again. You didn't prep me on this one.
Wait, which one?
I'm telling about myself. I'll do it. Can I do it in Ace Ventura? It's easy.
You can do it. You can do it any way you want it.
Okay, so tell you about me. Soccer style kicker, shoots from the side. 7 kids, lives in an RV in California, originally from Chicago. I have a master's degree in psychology, a bachelor's degree in Bible, a degree in extreme makeover life editions. I'm on my 5th life, I think. I hate cats. I love dogs.
What?
I do. That's sorry. You see that?
Oh, sorry.
All right. You and I have our first disagreement. I'm going to sick my cat on you. Ow.
No. I love cats. They taste really good with barbecue sauce.
Dude, you better be joking right now. You better be joking right now.
I'm only half joking. I'm more of a dog person than I am a cat person, and I took I'll tell you why. Quick story, no more than a minute and a half. This will probably sum up who I am. I took in a stray cat once when I was overseas in the military, and it was very pretty. It was beautiful. I think we named it Ferris because of Ferris Bueller, and I went to work and I came home and we got the litter box and everything for it. And, here, this is where you go. And we came home and the cat decided that it was going to poop everywhere but the litter box. I literally came home to probably like 40 little piles one day.
Really?
And yeah. And so I was done. So it's not that I hate cats. I do. In some life, I'm sure I have a Mr. Bigglesworth somewhere. But generally speaking, I'm more of a dog person, because you're either a dog person or a cat person, really.
Right.
And I'm more of a dog person. So no, I don't hate cats. I just despise them sometimes.
Well, it's funny, we should probably get to the point in a minute, but my cat, I recently moved and I now have a pit bull, and this pit bull is actually scared of my cat. My cat, this little itty bitty thing, has bullied a pit bull into submission. That's how much of a jerk he is. So,
well, let's talk about pit bulls for a second, because since we're talking animals anyway. Do you know originally what pit bulls were bred to be?
I do not
know this.
Mm-mm.
They were originally bred to be nursery dogs. So back in England, they were actually put in the crib with the baby and would alert the parents if something was going wrong with the baby. So that is how they are bred. But of course, now when you say pit bull, the first thing somebody says is, let's go kill it. Which is completely not their demeanor. I had a friend who had one for 16 years, and the worst thing it ever did was lick the inside of my mouth when I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, pit bulls are lovely. I think they reflect their owner, though, or I shouldn't say owner. I should say their companion, counterpart.
That's good. That's good.
So,
I like that actually.
This leads into our topic: Are animals going to heaven or hell? In your expert opinion.
My expert. I don't care.
That doesn't sound very Christian of you.
Okay, so I think I don't know. I mean, it doesn't talk in the Bible about where animals go after they die. It does. I think it speaks pretty clearly about the uses of animals. So I would say that there's a good chance that there could be an animal heaven. But I the honest answer is I don't know, and I don't care.
I like the honest answer.
It really is. I mean, does it? I think we make that up to say yes. All dogs go to heaven. I was actually trying to send you a message with an all dogs go to heaven GIF in it, or GIF, whatever you want to say it. But I couldn't find one that I liked.
That's a debate right there. It's just going to be on the screen. GIF or GIF? Which one is it?
Well, if you're a Christian, it's a GIF because peanut butter comes from Jesus. And Jesus starts with J, and Jif peanut butter starts with J. So actually, it should be GIF because Jif and GIF, you can't get them confused.
Do you know what the best part of you is? I don't know what to expect, and I really like that. You are not your typical Christian. And I don't. Oh, that sounds bad, and I don't mean it like that.
Time.
I mean,
you're spewing the virus on me right now. Sorry.
You make conversations much better, my friend. And hopefully one day we'll get to meet. Although you're all the way in, what was it, California?
I'm in San Diego, bro. I'm in heaven on earth. If you want to know if God exists or heaven exists, just come to San Diego and you will see that there is no way that God does not exist because he created San Diego.
Can you demonstrate that?
I can, and since you're in Chicago, like we'll demonstrate this and say like February 3rd when you are inside because it's 30 below before the wind chill, and we're gonna do a podcast in February, and I'm gonna prove this to you. You're gonna be inside bundled up, and I'm gonna be outside in a pair of shorts. That's it. 72 degrees. Heaven does exist. It's called San Diego. Just don't come here. You can come visit, just don't live here.
No, I would love to come visit and come out there. So I briefly asked you this before, but we didn't get to expand on the topic of hell. So by your own standard, do you think on my current trajectory, if I remain an atheist for the rest of my life, am I going to hell? Come on. Come on.
I know people don't like to answer that, right? They
don't, but I won't be offended. Like so I've been told I'm going to hell routinely. So I assure you it will not upset or offend me. I'm not going to be one of those atheists that are like, you're immoral for saying that. Like,
so have you been told you are going, or have you been told to go?
No,
there's a difference.
No, I've been told. Well, okay, thanks for clarifying. I've been told both. I am going to. I go to hell, and I've been told I am indeed going to hell. Based on my trajectory. And I guess what confuses me is I want to be, I think I'm a good person. I hope I'm a good person, but I just can't wrap my mind around somebody sending me to hell simply because I haven't seen enough evidence for them to exist. And that kind of scares me that, that people would think that. Like, I don't want anybody to go to hell. Like, literally, if hell exists or if hell's possible, I don't want anybody to go there, man. Like, because think about this.
Right.
If hell is real, it is what your torment for eternity for, maybe one bad thing you did. And now you're just screwed because you made one mistake. See,
that's a great question. So okay. So first of all, I will answer that question for you. I will.
For sure.
Whether you're going, yes.
Okay.
Well, I will answer it to the best of my belief system. How about
that? Absolutely. That's all I ask.
Okay. But so in Christianity, and I think, is Larry here? Is Larry the Christian here?
There we go. Larry the Christian is in the comments.
Awesome. I saw that. Are you? I don't know. Larry, maybe you and I should come on and discuss as well. But
there we go. 2 verse 1. Let's do this.
No, it would be a one-on-one. Honestly, it would be like a cage match in 1994. So it would be beautiful. So there are different denominations. Like there is a sect, a denomination of modern Christianity that says, even if you believe what we believe and you have not been baptized, and you die, you're going to hell. So you have that side. There are so many angles that you can pull depending on how you view the Bible. So for me, I do believe that hell is an actual place. What that looks like, what that's going to feel like, I have no idea. Nor, because when you talk about when the Bible talks about hell, there's different places, especially when Jesus talks about it in the Gospels. Most of the time, and I don't know the percentage, so please don't hold my head to the fire on this. Most of the time, he's talking about a place.
Larry will correct
Gehenna.
you if you're wrong.
Larry will correct me. Thank you, Larry. Thank you. I have to put my glasses on so I can read what he's saying to me. So, but most of the time he's talking about an actual literal trash dump that was in or outside of Jerusalem.
Okay.
Or somewhere there. And so, but he was referencing sometimes, heaven exists in us right now. So you have all of this around. So are you going to hell? I think that when Jesus comes back, and the end of the time has happened, whatever that looks like, that I feel like there is going to be a time where people see that. The Bible talks about how in the end times people will see this and still not believe. And I think if you see Jesus coming back, and the Bible says that when Christ comes back, it will be known. It's not like he's going to come back in on the West Coast, and the East Coast is going to be like, hey, is it just dark clouds down there? Or somebody in China is on the other side of the world, unless the world is flat, but we can talk about that later.
Wait, you don't think the world is flat, do you? Please.
I haven't seen proof. I have not seen proof that it's round.
So you don't know.
I've seen pictures, but maybe it was made in a Hollywood basement. I'm not sure.
So would you be an agnostic round earther?
Maybe. Maybe that. No, because I still believe in Jesus. So I feel like there's going to come a time when whatever is truth, whatever is actual absolute truth, will be revealed. From my angle, coming as a Christian, I feel like Jesus is going to come back, and then at that time it will be revealed that Jesus does exist, and at that moment there will still be people who say no, that's not true. And I think for them at that time, whatever hell is, they will probably go there. To answer your question, if you were on your current trajectory right now, say, like if you were to die today,
yes,
would that be a better one?
I die right now.
If you died,
am I going up or am I going down? Because if I'm going down, I need to change the background image.
So actually, you know what? Forgive me because I have not yet watched the podcast of your story. But
yeah, sure. Wait, you haven't? And you came on my show without watching? I'm sorry, I can't even joke about saying that.
Listen, I've got 7 kids at home. I'm a little busy. So
That's a lot of children. I've
It
got one
is.
cat,
It
and I think that's a lot.
right. So let me ask you a question. There was a time in your life where you were a believer, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So at that time, at that time, did you give your life to Jesus consciously?
So this is where I guess it's up for debate. Some of my friends would argue that I wasn't a real Christian, and I guess just to be completely transparent, yeah, I believed in God, but I believed in God because I didn't have a good reason. Not saying you don't have a good reason. I'm only speaking from my own personal experience. I made the would it be a fallacious mistake of saying, well, I don't know, therefore, it must be God. There must be something. So I was making that mistake. And when I realized I was making that mistake is when I started to fall away from it. I could never get into the on your knees and praying, or everyone singing together, like that part of it. I couldn't get swept up in the emotion of it because I had time believing it. Even when I believed in God, I couldn't do the whole group prayer. I was just going along with the motions, but it never really made sense to me. So I guess take from that what you will.
So I would say if somebody makes a profession of faith in Jesus, that I'm kind of one of those once saved always saved kind of belief systems.
Okay.
So if you make a public profession of faith in Jesus, then you've made a public profession of faith, unless you're held with a gun to say it. Then you probably have made that profession of belief out of the genuinity of your own heart. If you have done that, the only thing that I have seen in the Bible is if I deny the existence of the Holy Spirit, would I not be offered entrance into heaven or into the next world? So if you've made a profession of faith at some point in your life, I believe that you will have an opportunity to go to heaven. I believe that you have an opportunity to at some point to make that right with God. Again, none of us, and no apologetic person either. I know we wanted to talk about that. I'm gonna say it, and if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. Then show me I'm wrong. But none of us know exactly what heaven looks like. We can gather some information from the Bible, but the Bible doesn't make it extremely clear. Like when you die, you're going to go to heaven. You're going to have this. It talks about the Bible talks about in my house. And Jesus says, in my Father's house, there are many rooms. If God is outside of time, there is no fathomable way that we can fathom what heaven would look like. Also, there's no fathomable way we can talk about exactly what hell will look like. There's apologetics out apologies.
There we go. Oh, you can't see.
I can see it now. Wow.
Is that where I'm going?
You're going straight to hell for that one, Ethan. Just go ahead and pack your bags, because we can't take anything with us to heaven, but I'm certain you can take everything with you to hell.
I would just like to point out, see, to me, Stephen, this is where conversations and changes are made. And I want people to know that are watching that if you came here to see a normal atheist and a Christian just argue and talk about who's wrong, who's right, you didn't come to the right channel. Because to me, I would much rather have this conversation, find where the other person stands, and hopefully, which I think Stephen knows my intentions are in the end, to bring him over to the dark side. Like, I'm not hiding that. And I would assume that you're...
Continue trying to bring you over.
That you're in... I would assume your intentions are also to, yes, we're having a conversation, but you'd like to see me saved, correct?
What I'd like to see you say.
Then again, okay, picture this. Can you imagine how
no,
I would be?
This is a
you
good
go ahead.
rub, though. I'm sorry. You're the host. I'm just
No, please. I'll talk. So please just continue.
So this is a good thing because do I want to see you saved? Yes. In my belief system, I want to.
You don't have to. I just put them on the screen regardless.
Okay. No, I see this. I see the side one from the live comments too, and I'm looking.
Okay.
I'm looking at the best name ever. The lady who said, "What does outside of time mean?"
I guess I shouldn't say her name, but let's just say best name ever. Tremendously polite person. Not even from the U.S. has helped me get gigs on two other shows. And has helped get me a guest. Like, I don't even know this person. And she's like, hey, I gave this person your name, or do you want to go on here? It's like, these are some really nice people. And same with Puck. This guy is a superhero right here. I totally just derailed it. I apologize.
That's okay. Best name ever. If you send a message to Ethan, I can explain that after. That'll take us completely out of where we're going here for this podcast. So I don't want to do that. But I'm happy to answer that question for you. So yes, in my belief system, do I want to see you saved? Absolutely. Yes, I do want to see you saved. But my intentions, like yours, and we've talked about my intentions on here are just to raise awareness for what I believe in and what I feel is truth. If what you feel is not truth, at the end of the day, it's not my job, nor is it a biblical mandate. And I'll go rounds and rounds with Christians about this all day. There's not a biblical mandate. Ready for this one? Sorry, Larry. There's not a biblical mandate for me to make disciples out of people. There is no biblical mandate for me to do that. It appears that there is. And to an untrained eye, you would say that, yes, my job is to make disciples. But discipleship is different. First of all, discipleship is different from evangelism. Evangelizing somebody is in hopes of them coming into a relationship with Jesus. I cannot create a disciple. Point blank, I cannot create a disciple. The Holy Spirit is the one that does that. In my belief system, that is one of the primary jobs of the Holy Spirit is to convert the heart. I can expose my belief system. I can show you where I believe I'm right, where I believe that absolute truth exists. But it's the Holy Spirit's conviction of the heart that actually makes that shift in people. So making disciples, creating disciples, discipleship, growing in your relationship with God and with Jesus. Yes, I am. If you were to say, hey, Steve, I gave my heart to Jesus, I have an obligation as your brother in Christ to help walk you through what growth looks like, to help walk you through what discipling, what discipleship, what that sanctification process looks like. But I am not the person. I am not the person that makes your decision for you.
Right.
Nor is God going to hold me accountable for making that decision for you. If I give my life to Jesus, my job, my job is to live out that faith. And in living out that faith, we have the ability to have conversations like this. I wrote something down because I was there. There's a really cool older guy. He's passed away now. His name's Oswald Chambers. He was a pastor. He wrote a really good, it's a yearly devotional. It's called My Utmost for His Highest. And this year I'm actually walking through that devotional pretty much on a day-to-day basis.
Okay.
And I pulled out a couple of quotes from him. He wrote this in the 30s, I think. But he's talking about, obviously he's speaking to Christians. And here's where I think the rub comes in. I think this will help us shift into into the morality piece, which will also bring up apologetics.
Yes, I wanted to get onto apologetics.
So it's he wrote in here. I just want to make sure I don't miss because he's talking about he's talking about. I actually wrote this in here. I don't know if you can see this. I don't know if I can make it. I wrote in their podcast with Ethan. So this was in April. This was in early April. But it's he says if it is, he's talking about receiving the Holy Spirit, and he said and he talking about, he says, if it is difficult to get right with God, it is because we will not decide definitely about sin. So that is actually when you talk about Christians and atheists, coexisting. Yes, we can. Can we coexist? Absolutely.
I hope
Where
we can.
the rub hits is on the foundational beliefs about morality.
Okay.
And let me just say this from a Christian perspective. I mean, as Christians, we tend to shoot our own and eat our own quicker than we do anybody else.
I've noticed the same with some atheists, but I'll let you finish that.
You know that actually happened on your wall this last week, didn't it? Or was it this last?
So let's just say I cannot name names. I really am sorry if you could hear my dog right now. I am working on the soundproofing the room.
Wait, you have a dog and a cat?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The pit bull, the cat has put the pit bull. The cat is the dominant one, and has scared the pit bull into submission. Hey, is that a beer?
Nope.
Oh, okay. No true Christian drinks a beer.
I did that on purpose. I just for those viewers, I did that on purpose.
So, yeah, I'm just gonna say I upset someone. They do not like the fact that I'm engaging with other people like this, and not just theists, but like I guess other people in the supernatural realm. They do not like it at all, and I'm like, you know what? I'm sorry. Like, this is what I want to do. I'm not gonna get in someone's face and tell them how wrong they are, unless it's life and death or someone, something bad is happening. Then I'll be like, this needs to stop now. But until then, I'd rather slowly work my atheist magic on you, Stephen. I have got the rest of my life to keep planting. Larry taught me this best. Larry the Christian. Just plant those seeds every now and then and let them grow. And I will bring you to the dark side.
Ethan, I am your father.
So, question from Puck. Question from Puck for you. Do you believe that the actions of non-believers are affecting the state of the world to the detriment of Christians?
I think the actions of everybody are affecting the state of the world to the detriment of everyone. I don't think it's we live in a great question, Puck. We live in an imperfect world. So therefore, if we live in an imperfect world, there is no perfection. We can come close, whatever that looks like, however you want to define that. We can get very close to that. I would define perfection as Jesus. We can get super close to that, but I don't think that. I wonder if Puck's coming from this as I'm thinking about it. The actions of non-believers affect the state of the world to the detriment. Let me say yes. Because what happens is you have, I won't say to the detriment per se. I will say it adds to the growing stupidity of how we respond.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, I can. No, no, I refuse. Take it at face value, damn it. Listen, you're supposed to be a face value guy. Take it at face value and leave it there, Ethan.
I am the dumb one between Puck and I. He's the smart one. He talks about the more knowledgeable things, and I'm just the face that's like, yeah, okay. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, so I'm gonna tie that in with Kim's comment that she just put up there. The verse, yeah, there you go. Go ye therefore and make disciples. Yes, that's what it says. So the challenge. So here's where it comes in. Puck is, I can take that verse and I can go, oh, it says, go ye into the world and make disciples of all the nations. Do this and I will be there with you. So that tells me, if I read that, I can easily take that out of context and say, oh, well, if I don't go make disciples, then God's not going to be there with me, which is not true. God's going to be there whether you go out and do things. Making disciples means to plant the seeds. You have to when you read the Bible, and here's where apologetics come in too.
There we go. There we go. Let's do this.
Like that. Yes. It comes down to, it really truly comes down to biblical interpretation. Somebody on there was like, somebody wrote, hey, what, a book written 200 years ago and it isn't known. This is where, there's an old saying that says, the Bible is an acronym for basic instructions before leaving Earth. Right? Have you heard that?
Yes, I've heard that.
When we're, that's one of the first things that you get taught, and you're like, oh, cool. I've grown in my 48 years to believe that statement. In was that you or me?
That was me. I thought I had my phone off and it was not all the way on silent. I totally apologize.
No, it's funny. I'm like, because I have mine I had mine on the table too. I was like, oh, I forgot to move it off the table. That's another good question, Buck. These guys are asking way too many questions, way too fast.
Buck has a lot. He is a question machine. But here's the best. That's cool. We're going to actually put a humorous spin on my clear lack of knowledge, because we'll be doing an episode. Oh, Puck's going to kill me. I believe it's tomorrow at 8:30. Correct me if it's tomorrow or next week, Puck. I don't have the schedule in front of me. But what does Ethan actually know? Although that title may be wrong, because he's really good. Like anytime after my debates, he's like, why didn't you ask this? Why didn't you ask this? You missed this. You missed this. And I'll just get this list. And I'm like, and then I'll get like 10 videos. I'm like, I'm not as smart as you, man. I need like 10 times as long to process this information.
And that's why you're going to hell, Ethan, because you don't know.
Wait, I'm not preaching God. What are you talking about, dude? I am definitely not preaching God. I don't know if I'm preaching atheism, but I don't know. I totally derailed your thought again. So apologetic.
That's okay, but you know what? I started to think about something. The whole preface is can atheists and Christians coexist? Right. That's the whole preface of our conversation.
Exactly.
That we're having here. It comes down to, we can talk about, actually we can talk about morality and foundational morality, and I can say where generally speaking Christians have a solid morality of right and wrong, good or bad, and it doesn't waver on how I feel. Where most, I won't even say most because I don't know, but a handful of atheists that I know would say, would say something around the lines that morality, shifts on the basis of what I feel like. And so that's where that's where big rubs can come in of, well, today I feel like killing a baby and it's okay. So there, my morality says, my body, my choice. So it's okay for me to do that. And that's my moral decision, where a very staunch conservative styled, Christian is going to say, absolutely not. That baby is from the moment of conception, it's a live living thing. And therefore it's not your body, your choice. God chose that baby for you. And so you need to choose life. So very quickly we can not live together. How we live together is having a common respect for each other's views and opinions, and engaging in dialogue versus debate. And that's where when apologists come in, we live in a society where people love the debate, right? It's like we debate everything, and if you, I saw somebody write like 30 questions, like about the whole virus stuff that's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I copied and pasted and kind of, I didn't change the questions, but I changed the before and after kind of thing to suit me, and just like, questions to ask. And my gosh, my liberal non-Christian friends were so quick to just like basically throat me and call me a bad person because I'm asking the wrong questions. And I'm like, actually, no, they might be simple-minded. They might have a direction towards one thing. Because I mean, obviously, when you ask a question, it's going to be skewed more towards the answer that you want it to be. But if you are smart, if you have common sense, if you have respect, what you're going to do is engage in dialogue. You're not going to tear the person apart for asking the question.
Right.
You're going to say, okay, so this question seems to me like if I have a problem with somebody's question, I'm going to be like, well, you're a stupid fucking a-hole because I love Jesus, but I swear just a little bit.
And that's why I like having you on. I don't know what to expect.
Is that okay?
No, you're good. You are good. As long as you stay away from racial slurs, the P word and the C word. Outside of that, we are good. Although, bear in mind, some
People's
Christians
choice
do get upset when you swear. So
yeah, so let me just address that in 32.3 seconds. Ready? You can time me on this. The Bible says that you should not take the Lord's name in vain, which is, so if you say "gee, damn it," that is taking the Lord's name in vain. If you say words like shit and ass and all those other ones, really, like, that is just a choice of education, in the sense of, am I being lazy and I just want to use, why is it okay to say poop, but it's not okay to say shit? Oh, it's so offensive.
I agree. It's just a word.
It's a word. Now, the connotation that comes with it, is where you come, the emotion that you bring with it. If I say, oh shit, I forgot my bird, that's one thing. If I say, you little piece of shit, like, so the connotation that comes, there's different ways.
Right.
But the Bible talks about liberties. When we talk about liberties, and that's why that's one reason why I have this. I have the liberty in my belief system to have a beer if I want. There's nothing in the Bible that says you shall not drink. We can argue that we can argue that Jesus' first miracle was making alcohol. So how can you tell me I can't drink when Jesus made alcohol? Well, that's because back in the day they didn't have filtration systems, so water was really crappy, literally, back then. So he had to make wine. So everybody drank wine because the water wasn't good enough to drink. So we can have like those are interesting conversations that we can have. But what happens is we take those little things like, oh, you drink alcohol, therefore you're bad. You cannot call yourself a believer if you drink beer. Actually, I can. If I got drunk every night, if I got drunk regularly,
right.
Then yes, then you by all means can tell me, Steve, you should probably not drink because you are not. It's the whole like meat eating thing in the Bible, and that's why that's where some of the blessings came from in the Old Testament is they blessed the food because the food wasn't good, but if they blessed it, they believed that it wouldn't hurt them, and it didn't, because God took care of them. So it's there's a difference between swearing and cussing. It's
actually interesting. I didn't know that. So I think oh, sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead.
We got another question or follow-up question from Puck. So question for Stephen. Is there anything in Christian morality that wouldn't already be covered by secular humanist maximize well-being?
Yeah, there's probably a lot. Secular humanist. Can you define that for me? Because I'm stupid.
So, put me on the spot. Well, so secular humanism does have tenets, but a secular humanist is basically like a human. Oh man, I'm totally getting put on the spot right now. Hang on, I gotta Google. Secular humanism is a
bringing you to my side now,
or life stance that embraces human reason, secular ethics. No religion, no God, and philosophical naturalism, while specifically rejecting religious dogma, supernaturalism, and superstition as the basis of morality.
Absolutely, Puck, and I'll tell you why. Because on Monday I can feel like it's not a good thing to kill somebody, and then on Tuesday I can think it's very good to kill somebody. So therefore, because I feel that way, a secular humanist would say it's right to me to kill somebody.
So that would be incorrect. So it's not feeling. If your goal is to maximize well-being, meaning you don't want anybody to die, you don't want to be hurt, you don't want to hurt somebody. So if you're focused on maximizing well-being, is there anything Christianity, the Christian moral system offers that isn't covered?
I don't know. I will actually look into that more. I would say probably most of it's probably very similar if we're talking about maximizing well-being, because it's, the goal in Christian morality is to have, is to live with maximizing your well-being. Larry's there.
Yep. And so Larry says he'll be in San Diego in January. I'll grab a beer with you, 2 Christians drinking a beer. You don't know, Larry. No, by then it will be 2 atheists drinking a beer.
Actually, by then it'll be 2 Christians drinking a beer against 1 atheist wishing he was a Christian drinking a beer. But
touche.
We digress. Cool. That's cool, Larry. I would love to meet you.
Yeah, Larry's a great guy.
So I guess to answer the question, there's probably not.
Soundbite that quick.
What? That there's probably not?
Yes.
You can take it out of context.
Yes, of course. That's why I'm doing
this. Right.
I'm trying
Stephen,
to get you
are atheists going to hell? Probably not. Is it okay for me to have 3 wives? Probably.
Yes.
Stop that right there, right? Just cut that one off.
You know how my evil mind's working.
Yes. And see, so what tends to happen? So apologetically speaking, we have like 15 minutes left, right? Okay. Apologetically speaking, the challenge that when we were talking about this right before we came on, is when you engage in a debate, there is a purposed ending for that debate. Whatever side you're on, you're either pro this or you're con that, and you're debating that side of the coin, and that is the only thing that you are bringing to the table. I think there are places for debates. I think debating is good. I'm not saying debating is bad, but what happens is we take these debates and then we use them to further either side of the fence that you're on, right? Whereas when you're discussing something, now you're leveling the playing field to be able to say, okay, this is what you believe in. Okay, so how did you get there? or why do you believe in that? And when you're having a discussion or a dialogue versus having a debate is putting you on the spot. Like, like, why are you an atheist?
Right.
Tell me right now, because you're going to hell.
And it's more like, wait, how do you know you're an atheist? And how do you know that you know that for certain? And how do you know that you know anything about knowing about being an atheist? It's like, wait, what? You lost me. You lost me like 10 minutes ago.
Exactly. Like like my Facebook post yesterday, somebody said, well, I can tell by the way that you posted these questions that you're closed-minded and you don't care. I think one question was how do we let a computer geek take over the world and and say that he's a doctor and wants a virus and all this stuff. It's like, like there is, okay, if you can't see beyond the question, then you're part of the problem.
There we go. Thank you. It's like that you worded it very well right there. If you can't actually just look into the question or address it rather than shutting it down. And that's what makes it so hard for me to engage in apologetics. Because so people like, Larry the Christian, he'll move over here. He'll quote meet you halfway and he'll engage in the conversation. When it comes to apologetics, they have a firm do not meet on the opposing player's ground. You have to stay right here. And I don't think that's in a debate. Yeah, great. But in a conversation, it's like, come on, just move over here a little bit. Work with me. Let's try and figure this out.
Yeah,
it's very hard to get straight answers from people who practice apologetics. Like, hey, okay, do you actually think? Let me think of an example. Are you against gay marriage? And then, well, wait. Do you realize what you just asked? You're using the phrase gay, and you could be using it this way. It's like, no, just answer the question, please. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like when I ask you questions, you don't do that. You engage in the conversation.
I have a gentleman. I'm gonna see if I can get you guys hooked up. His name is Sean McDowell. I don't know if you know that name.
I do not.
He's a Christian Christian apologist. Sorry. I'm infected today by the corona. Sorry, I was gonna go somewhere I won't.
Puck knows the name. Puck. Okay, this guy, he knows everybody. I don't know how.
Okay,
he literally knows everybody.
So that's cool. So I love Sean. I don't know him personally. I know his dad. His dad's name is Josh McDowell. He's a very big, huge Christian apologist. Sean is someone who is very, very solid in his thinking about apologetics and can defend apologetics. But he is one of the few guys that I know that can actually defend apologetics in a discussion format. Versus
that's what I need. That's what I need.
A debate format. I will warn you, you might come over to my site after you talk to him because he's that good. Because just the way that he speaks, and how he presents himself, he's very respectful. He's a very respectful guy. He teaches at a college out here. He does a lot of stuff. His dad was one of the like pioneers of what we would consider in the Christian church the modern youth ministry. That's where his dad started out as, and he kind of came up in that world. But let me see if
please
let me see if we can.
Because
so yeah,
here's the thing, Stephen. If he's that good and he can convince me, I'm all ears. Because if there's a God, I want to know. So by all means, bring me to your side. But I just want to be transparent, so I don't get accused of being dishonest again. That it is highly, highly unlikely that I'm going to see, the evidence I would personally accept. So to give you an example, I don't even want to jinx. Wow, I shouldn't even say jinx myself. But I can't.
You're already on the freeway.
Yeah. If somebody says the only way to God is a leap of faith, that right there, I can't. I'll tell you from the get-go, I can't do. I need something that I can investigate, look into, evaluate. I cannot accept a leap of faith. And that's for me, it would be very hard to convince me.
Okay, so I'm gonna do something here. Oh man, I don't have a. Let me see if I can do this. Okay. Do you see that circle?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so let's say that circle represent. Have you? Let me tell. You can stop me if you've ever seen this before. But I like how it makes the point. So let's say that circle represents everything that exists across in what we know and what we don't know. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if this represents everything, could we say that probably there it is, that much is what we know?
I wouldn't even say that much.
Okay, so but that's fine.
Like, so there's like a dot with how much we know, because there's just so much information out there. But regardless, I'm sorry. I'm not going to pull apologetics on you. That's fine.
That's okay. So essentially, this dot right here that exists outside of what we all know could be God. So God could exist. You just may not know it yet, or may have experienced it yet. So I like that in the sense of it reminds me that we don't know everything, and just because we don't know something doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
But it also doesn't mean that it does exist.
That is true. That is true. But it also doesn't mean that it doesn't necessarily not exist.
No, you're right. It could go either way. Although from my side, I would say it's highly unlikely, just because we have no evidence for anything supernatural that has existed.
You're a science guy then, right?
So I guess you could say I would follow science, but if I wouldn't call myself a science guy, as I am extremely lacking in knowledge. Like, I constantly have to like ask friends, like, hey, can you explain this to me? Or can you help me break this down? Like, because I'm still learning all this. So I'm like a child where I'm like, why, what, how, when? Like, I just want to know.
Ooh, I like that comment from Lita. Interesting comment.
Which one?
The 422. No, not that one.
Oh no. That one?
I hate when. Yes, sometimes it's not about needing proof versus faith. I personally have no need for God. I want to know why. I want to know.
I mean, so I think I can. Sorry, I can't answer for Lita, and I want to be careful what I'm saying. I want to. I see no need for God, because to me, I can do, from a secular humanist standpoint, I can do just as much good. Would an afterlife be cool? Sure. But do I need that? No, I need the people around me. I need the I don't know. I just want to spread love, man.
You hit it right there. See, God is not just about, it does not exist for the afterlife, not just the afterlife, after this life. He exists for the current life.
So
man, we need to make this 2 hours, man.
I know. So what do you think? Okay. What do you think I could get out of a relationship with God?
Ooh, that's a great question. That's better. You're asking me that with 5 minutes left.
Well, we don't have a hard stop at an hour. We could go within, unless you have a hard stop at 1 hour. We could go a little over.
I've got to go to the bathroom. I'm just kidding. What can you get? Outside of eternal life.
Outside of it, like, what could I get out of my life right now that I'm not already achieving? Like,
ooh, actually, I'm going to write that down, because that's a great question. Just then I'll answer it. What? Ask me that one more time so I can write it down.
What is it God can do for me right now that I'm not already getting?
Right already getting? That's a great question, honestly. So it's in some ways it's a tough question to answer, because God calls us into having a personal relationship with him. It really comes down to, I hate to go back to this with Lita, but it really does come down to faith and foundation. What do you believe to be true? If you believe that this is it, that happenstance happened, and you're here, and you live, and you die, and that's it, that is the entire essence of your life, then you have no need for God. You have no need for it. If you look out at the world and you think there is no effing way that everything that we have has evolved from, what do the primary scientists say now, that all life evolved from a crystal on the back of a rock? So if
I don't want to say yes or no, because honestly, I don't know for certain.
That's I remember walking through this, but like all life evolved from happenstance. If you investigate, life, plants, animals, every single thing evolved from one little cell, one little organism. To me, I can't fathom that as possible. So you're telling me that way back something split, some part of me split, that one became me, but another part became a plant, but then another part became a bird, but then another part became 400,000 different species of spiders, but then another part became, a piece of metal that I can create into a car. To me, I cannot fathom that. When I look out, when I look out at life, there is something innate in me that says there's something more than that. And so if there's something innate in me that says there's something more, then I want to go find it. And I found Jesus, when I was 7, when I said, "Yes, Daddy, I love Jesus," and yes, he's the man. I was aware of my 7-year-old comprehension level. And this is, it's another great conversation about having childlike faith and what it takes to believe, what it takes to believe. That's a great conversation to have at some point. I
agree,
but it's I mean, because it is, there is this, there's something inside of me that says I didn't come from a crystal. There's too much proof otherwise, as I've garnered knowledge as I got older. Sorry, man.
I gotta start. I am so sorry.
No, you're good.
It's loud. This dog is driving me nuts.
Well, if you were with a real Christian apologist, he might send you to hell because your dog barked.
I don't think they'd be happy with that right now.
During the broadcast, I think maybe you should stick your cat on him if you think cats are appropriate.
I guess we're kind of a joke now.
Sorry,
I guess we're not allowed to have fun.
And that's actually I think it's getting hot in my room. That's why I'm starting to sweat. But
I can't tell.
Well, good. That's the thing is life. We take too much in life, and we take too much of it too seriously, and too much of it too personally. Mm-hmm. My hope would be, for my Christian belief system, my hope would be that you find Jesus. From my human element, my hope is that you find something that you have a foundation in, that you believe wholeheartedly in, and you live that out. And you, I want to say you fight like hell to keep it, but if it's your foundation, it's don't let somebody pull that from you. But there are, and this is an apologetic, rabbit hole, whether life is predestined or whether life has free will. That's a great one. That's in those camps are just as militant as Christians and atheists can be militant with each other. Thanks, Lita.
So I want to jump back to one of your what. I am so sorry about the dog, everyone. Oh, this is driving me nuts.
You know what? I was going to become an atheist, but no, the dog's barking. So, geez, no.
Wow. Oh, worst timing. So, all right. Yeah,
that's why dogs are going to hell. Animals are going to hell.
There we go. We solved it. So I want to jump back. So you have this feeling that there's something more out there, correct?
Yes.
So how did you rule out something else other than God? And I'm not trying to be. I want to ask this. No, you won't take it wrong. How did you rule out like aliens, alien life? How did you rule out a computer program? Like, how did you go through a process of ruling out other potential possibilities and then arrive at it's God?
You mean aliens don't exist?
No, I didn't say that. I'm sure they do. I am not 100% confident, though, because I have yet to see them. However, with how big the universe is, I would say it's highly unlikely that Earth is the only place where life exists.
I agree. So I got there. Okay, I'll tell you this quick story. I had a friend some years back who was very much into the belief system that we are all part of this different parallel universe that we all live on. And at some point, you and I said, hey, let's go down to this place called Earth and play this game. And this game is how our life is. And the goal of the game is to figure out that we are in a game here.
Right.
And once I figure out that I'm in the game and you figure out that you're in the game, then we can play the game together and we can have fun with it. And we sit on beds and we listen to white noise for hours and upon hours. And we find our inner self and go, okay, I've found the point of the game. So I'm just going to listen to white noise until it's my turn to leave the game. That's when I heard that. So I was like, it just didn't sit well. So I don't want to say the word feeling because feelings come and go, but I'll say intuition. That's a better word.
Okay.
Because there's an intuitive spirit in me that says Jesus is real, God is truth, and that is what I need to be aligned with. Because when I look at God, when I think about God, when I do the godly things, I feel this connection to who I am, my purpose in life, what I'm supposed to be here for. When I'm doing things like sitting on a bed listening to white noise for an hour, I'm like, that didn't do anything but give me a headache. Now there are people who are opposite that, and they will, they could sit and listen to white noise for 4 days in a row and not do anything and be like, man, I feel so pumped in life. And you say Jesus to them and they go, but I think for me, I have this intuitive spirit, this feeling, this gut instinct that says God is truth. And my, back to the basic the Bible thing, the basic instructions before leaving Earth, all the Bible for me really is it has everything. It's my soul rule. I won't answer him.
This is so embarrassing. Come on, Drake. Hang on.
Wait, your dog's name is Drake? Oh, now it's just me. Get rid of Ethan. I have just taken over the Friendly Neighborhood Atheists podcast. All right, everybody. Look in my eyes. All right, Jesus is the reason for the season, and it's always in season.
So I really want to get to okay. Oh, here, let me there's a question for you, and then there's one other comment I want to get to before we head out. When you think about God, how do you know you're thinking about the same God that everyone else is thinking about? You know what? So actually, you would be a good guest on his show. He has a show every Wednesday night called What the Puck, and it's more just like a Q&A. Sorry, Puck, I totally just put you on the spot there, but anyways, go ahead, address this.
So if he doesn't have me on, then it's proof that he is evil and he is going to hell.
Ooh.
Just kidding, Puck. Or am I? No. So that is a tough question for me, and I will tell you why. Because growing up, I had this belief system around God. When I was doing my undergrad seminary training, I was in a theology. It was like one of my first classes. I was in a basic theology class. And the professor came in and we were talking about the Trinity, how it doesn't explicitly say in the Bible anywhere the Trinity, the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, but it's implied and it's implicit, when you look at multiple verses that you can bring from that. And so my theology professor said, if somebody says that they believe in God, but they don't believe in the Trinity, then they're not following the same God that we are. Okay. And so, and in that case, they're going to hell. I mean, it was super point blank to that. So I think to answer your question, honestly, Puck, how do I know that I'm thinking about the same God that everyone else is thinking about? There's an element of generalized like-mindedness. For example, there's and I don't know your spiritual background, Puck. So I will just assume that you don't have one to answer the question. Inside the Christian community, there's different denominations so like we were talking about with beer. So there's a denomination inside.
Did you just compare religious denominations to beer?
Yes, because there is so you have like non-denominational churches, right? And then you have denominational churches, specifically like the Nazarenes. The Nazarene denomination, just a smaller group of evangelical Christianity, says, okay, the Bible says that the Bible doesn't say that we can't drink. The Bible says don't get drunk. So we are not even going to drink because drinking can lead to drunkenness. So if we don't even drink, then there's no indication or reason why we would become drunk. So we're just not going to drink. That is completely fine and well in my world. What happens is when they say, oh, well, if you drink, you're wrong. And it's so I think when you talk about thinking about the same God, I think there's a foundation of morality around like the 10 commandments, that as an example, that baseline all Christians. I think there is a baseline of love that baselines all Christians or people who would believe in God. And so from that angle, I can almost automatically assume that if I'm talking about God, somebody else who is talking like-mindedly to me probably believes in the same. I don't always assume that anymore. So at one time I did, but
I want to get to this one real quick. Have you ever been somewhere and all of a sudden you get creeped out and decide to move away from the place? You don't have evidence that your feeling is true beyond innate knowing. And yeah, you're right. You are going off of feeling, but the thing is, just because you don't know, that doesn't mean you make that next jump and say, well, it has to be something supernatural. The answer stops right there with, well, I don't know. Yes, you need to continue looking into it, but you should not make that jump because you're literally, instead of going from A, B, C, you're just going A to C, and you're skipping an entire step. At least that's how I look at it from my mind. Just because there are so many possibilities. So how do you narrow down all these possibilities to just this one singular thing that you have yet to prove? That's I don't know. What do you think, Stephen?
That's a big question.
It is.
Let me see if I can simplify it down quickly for us. I think that, man, I don't know if I could actually even give it a really good answer without contemplating it a little bit more. Honestly,
that's fine. You get where I was going with that, though, right?
Yeah, I do. I think we all have a journey to follow, and that journey will take us from point A to point B. In my Christian world, that point is a straight line, and the closer I can, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to go up and down, but the closer I can stay to that center line, the closer I feel like I'm with God's will for my life and my purpose, the purpose and the plan that I've been created for. The more I stray from that, the wider and deeper my little wave goes, but it's still my journey.
Right.
And I think there's something innate in us that says there's something more than just I'm haphazard, and I think even in you, there's something more than thinking, oh, I just happen to be born here. I'm just happen to live so many years. I'm just going to die, and that's it. I feel like when we get real with ourselves and think about life, that there has to be something more than just 80 years, and I'm just happenstanced to be here. And I think when we ask ourselves that question in raw authenticity and raw honesty, we begin to see things outside of just, the blinders of, well, science does this or quantum physics say this, they're there and they exist and they're true. I don't disagree with quantum physics. I don't disagree with science. I think they're there to help us see some of these bigger pictures. But I think if we get real with ourselves, and think, why do I have a bazillion ideas on my head and I only act on 2 of them?
Okay.
Like that, what I mean? Like I feel like there's this intuition that I have that there's something bigger than me spending happenstance 80 years or so, plus or minus, on this planet.
Okay, good answer. So let me ask you this. After a second conversation with me, I'm assuming you enjoy these or you wouldn't come back. Would you, as a Christian, or let me flip the script, because Christians always ask me this. They say from an atheist worldview. So from a Christian worldview, would you recommend your friendly neighborhood atheist YouTube channel as something that you think Christians, theists, and everyone should enjoy? And you can say no. You can absolutely say no. You are already welcome back, regardless of your answer. I just want to put everything on the table so no one's like, well, Well, there's an improper power dynamic there, so he was forced to answer a certain way. So your invite is there to come back regardless of your answer.
Hold on, let me check my PayPal and see if you paid me yet. Or did you Venmo me? Either one.
It was Venmo. It was Venmo.
Oh, Venmo is of the devil.
Remember, you must say good things about me.
Oh yes, yes. Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's the one thing that I like is that you have an open mind to want to have a conversation about religion, about, you know, politics and current affairs.
I love this stuff. I could literally, to quote Captain America, I could do this all day. Like, I find myself doing this more and more, and never mind. Let's just say I enjoy this more than my actual full-time job. Like, I could literally just sit here and nonstop do this. It is so much fun because I get to learn. I get to talk to people. Like, I enjoy doing that.
And I like it too, because, you know, like I heard you give me the definition of the secular humanist thing, and how I went with it. You're like, actually, that's not what I said, and obviously I stopped and let you talk.
Thank you for letting me talk.
I am the guest. I don't know. Second time, you know, in my house, the first time you're a guest, the second time there's the fridge. You get what you want.
Exactly, so, man. Your house is my house.
Great.
Or
so shut up.
My studio is your studio.
No, I like the fact that we can have these conversations. I like the fact that we can discuss things that if I'm not hearing you right, or if you're not hearing me right, we can stop each other and say, hey, actually, that's not what I meant. Because what happens is, you know, outside of the podcast realm, in the real world, you know, that's what happens, right? Somebody, you know, it's like any kind of, it's a relationship. It's any kind of communication that you have. If you're not hearing what is being said, you're
just hitting the gas speaker. That's it.
Wow. I mean, so what is that? Well, hold on. What is the guest beer?
That's a good question.
Answer that question. Answer that question, Puck. Answer what the family beer is and what the guest beer is, and we'll throw that up on the screen while I finish answering this question. You know, there in the real world, you don't have that. You say something and somebody will interpret what you said, and it could be right or it could be wrong. But, you know, the whole like perception is reality. It's like whatever I just perceived you say now becomes my reality. And that is where we break, not just Christians and atheists, but that's where everybody in general breaks. Is, well, you said this, or you know, you were Ethan, when you were 7, you loved Jesus, and now you don't. That's so wrong. You're wrong. You're going to hell. And you might be, but the point is, you know, like, you know,
I might see
it, and you might not be. I mean, yeah. my mind. This is why we keep it only an hour, because
we're at an hour and 20. That's a good
I know, but seriously, like, you know, how we perceive somebody's words, you know, it then becomes the reality. And as we start off the conversation, that, you know, like, you know, I put some questions on Facebook, and people are questioning my questions, you know, or making judgments on my ethics and values and morals based on a question I asked, instead of saying, hey, there are better questions to ask, right. You know, and which somebody did. Somebody said, you know, could that question have been asked a different way? Oh, you know what? Actually, now that I look at that question, I can see how somebody could spin it. So yeah, let me ask it a different way. You know, but we're so quick to demoralize, and we're so quick to demean and degrade and to judge others.
for no
rather
reason.
for no reason. And even if we have a reason, like you know, that even if we have a reason, it doesn't give us the right. Yes, we live in a free country. I have freedom of speech, but freedom of speech it gives me the ability to say what I want, what I want to say. It also gives you the right to say, hey, I don't like what you had to say, but it doesn't give either one of us the right to degrade. Freedom of speech, our freedoms aren't made for us to carte blanche. I can do whatever the hell I want to do, kind of thing. They're designed so that we can create discussion.
Right.
So that's a long-winded way to answer your question.
No, that was a good question. So, Stephen, we got to wrap up.
Okay.
Where can everyone check you out, my friend?
Let me see. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Pornhub.
So I got to ask, what's your name?
Just kidding. My Instagram. Just kidding. My Instagram account got hacked. No, I'm not on porn. I say that because it throws everybody off.
You can find me. I love that about you.
I'm on Facebook at Stephen Leapley. I'm on Instagram at Stephen Leapley. I am on Twitter at Stephen Leapley.
I gotta add you on Twitter. What am I doing? What am I doing?
I've just realized that I don't tweet a lot, and so I should probably do it more. And I'm also on LinkedIn professionally.
Don't tell me that. I'll find you on LinkedIn.
Professionally, it's different. It's Stephen Leapley.
Do you know? So I'm on LinkedIn too, and so far I've been quite fortunate. All of my LinkedIn dance videos are over 1,000 views right now. I think that's pretty cool. I've just I was one day, I'm like, look, everyone is taking LinkedIn way too seriously. So I upload a video of me dancing like an idiot. And next thing I know, it's like going everywhere. I'm like, see, this is what life should be. It should be fun. It should be making other people smile and laugh. Like, I don't care if I make myself look stupid. If I, make people laugh, then cool. If I get to educate people on the way, even better. And if I get to spread atheism awareness, then
yeah, that's why actually my Pornhub account is your friendly neighborhood _ atheist.
What? Dude, it's funny. I like that.
Just naked dancing. That's really all it is.
I need to create a bot so they can start searching that on Pornhub.
I'm probably going to get a phone call after this because I have some friends I think are watching and they're like, you should not have said the words Pornhub on there. Good Christians don't talk about Pornhub. Actually, you're
showing an atheist how bad you are. I can't do the voice.
You're disrespecting Jesus. Yeah. Actually, no, I'm creating conversation is what I am.
Thank you.
So
you should be a spokesperson for your friendly neighborhood atheist. You're good.
That's where I draw the line. You are friendly and you do live in a neighborhood and you are an atheist. So I mean, you're not lying.
It's all true statements.
It is all true statements. I think somewhere down the line we should see religion and politics. We should talk about addiction. I think we should talk about that.
Dude. All right. You and I are doing an episode on that because I have. Oh, sorry.
I was saying, remember, I am a psychologist, theoretically.
I'm getting analyzed.
No, it just means I can talk about things. That's all. I've been trained to talk about things, really.
Okay, we got to do that after we go off the air. I'm going to send you a couple dates so we can because I love that. I've been wanting to cover that for a while. I actually had an addiction counselor reach out and say she was interested, but she has not been getting back to me, and I'm still trying to put that episode together. So I would love because to be clear. I should be careful what I say with this, but I think for addiction, never mind. I'm not even going there. We'll save it for the next episode. Stephen, is there anything else you'd like to say in closing?
As always, thank you for having me on there. And I have a question for you. If I were to continue on the trajectory of my life and die today, what would happen to my body? And you can't say I don't know.
What do you mean I can't? Okay, so fine. It would get put in a casket. They would go through embalming, get put in a casket. It would then go to you'd have your wake, you'd have your funeral service. It would then get buried in the ground, and you would start decomposing. For how long, I don't know. But how's that? I didn't say I don't know.
That's just my physical body. We should talk about my soul.
I don't think there is a soul, but
no, there we go.
Good question.
You know, that's that. The soul. There you go. That's there it is. I have no idea what it is, but it just sounded good to say. So yes, let's talk about addiction next time. Wait. Whenever he says "dude," it means he's going to book 3 more shows. So I'm on the docket for 3 more shows.
Yeah, Puck is he's trying to like hone me down and like, okay, you got to stop booking so many shows. And I am realizing that. Like, I actually realized it this weekend when I was like, I put about 60 hours into this work, and I've got every day booked like 2 shows a day. And he said to me, he's like, do you realize you're putting out more content than the entire ACA? And I was like, wow, I didn't even think about that.
I gotta show you this. I gotta see if it comes up here. Let me see.
Oh, your mom is watching. Oh no. Hi, Mama Leapley. Steven,
just kidding.
You are in
I don't even know what Pornhub is. I don't even know what that is. Somebody said that word the other day. I thought it was a cool word.
So for clarity, no, I am now being smart, and I'm booking these shows further out rather than just being like, oh, here, let's do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now I'm spreading them out and trying to book them further along to a limited set of days. So Puck, don't worry. I have already accounted for that. So we are good.
Which means, Puck, I'm available for your show.
There you go, Puck. There you go.
We'll have a conversation about Ethan on your show. We could do that as well.
All right. Well, I really do have to end this. So, Steven, don't go anywhere. But wait, before I go, I need a high five, my friend.
Oh, wait.
It's opposite. Yeah, there we go. All right.
Actually, hold on real quick before we go, just because we are in California, I just want to make sure that I do cover up just in case what the puck is.
So that's what he does. Like, what the puck is morality. What the puck does Ethan know? So what the puck is the soul. So it's kind of like a Q&A where you'll talk about it and he'll ask you questions.
Oh, cool. I'm down.
There we go. Awesome. All right.
Awesome.
I really have to end this. Steven, don't go anywhere. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and I'll be back here with Puck tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And only bear with me for the next 2 weeks. After that, you will see this obsessive streaming schedule slow down drastically. But I do appreciate everyone who has been enthusiastically watching and engaging. So yeah, like, subscribe. It does make a difference. And check Steven Leapley out. Steven, thank you so much for coming on again.
Thanks for having me.